All right, so I think it'd be time to get started. We have gathered a good pool of people in the audience. Thank you everyone for joining and welcome to our webinar on Arabic machine translation. My name is Nada and I'll be your host today. For those who haven't interacted with me previously, I'm a Senior Customer Success Manager for our regional MENA offices in Dubai, Riyadh, and Amman, servicing clients across various sectors. I'm certainly passionate and excited about today's topic because I personally witnessed how the tool has provided efficiency to our clients' translation processes and requirements. So in today's globalized world and communicating effectively across different languages is crucial. With Arabic being one of the most widely spoken languages in the world, there's a growing demand for accurate and efficient translation solutions. Machine translation, powered by artificial intelligence, has emerged as a promising tool for bridging the language barrier. In this webinar, we're bringing the talents behind our groundbreaking technology in front of you. We have with us Rakan Al Hassan. Rakan is our head of products and integration and has developed many solutions and services that boost the operational efforts of our businesses. I'd also like to introduce Sara. Sara is the AI QA lead, focused experience in evaluating, analyzing, and auditing artificial intelligent products such as machine translation, spell and grammar checker, quality estimation, and others. Rakan and Sada are industry experts who will share their insights and experiences in Arabic machine translation. They will give us valuable insights on discovering the latest trends, best practices, and tools to enhance your translation workflow and help you deliver accurate and culturally appropriate translations. So whether you are a language professional, a business owner, or simply interested in the advancement of translation and technology, this webinar will provide valuable knowledge and practical tips on Arabic machine translation. So let us dive in. So today we are going to give you an intro on our Arabic machine translation portal and showcase some use cases. We'll also have the opportunity to give you a demo on how our Arabic machine translation works. And then we'll also have a time for a Q&A session. But before getting started on that, I would love to show you a video to introduce our Arabic machine translation.
You're a few seconds away from connecting with your target audience. Don't let language barriers hold your business back. With Arabic Machine Translation Tool, accurate translations are just a few clicks away. Simply drag and drop your documents from Word to PowerPoint and watch them get automatically translated while retaining their original format. Rest easy with enterprise-grade security, knowing your documents are safe with AMT. Visit translate.tarjama.com and experience the most advanced Arabic machine translation in the market. Let's get your business moving by Tarjama.
All right. So with that being said, I would love to also invite everyone to go ahead and participate in the poll that we have created. So if you see a little button on the bottom right corner, there's a poll where you'll be able to take it and let us know how the Arabic machine translation would be useful for you and the documents that you translate. I'm giving the floor to Rakan Al Hassan. So Rakan, take it away.
Thank you, Nada. Dear esteemed guests, good morning. My name is Rakan, and it's a pleasure to be here to talk to you about our most recent and exciting product, our AMT Portal. I'll start today by exploring what AMT Portal is and show you a live demo on how to use it. Prior to that, let's try and think of the following. Has there been a case where you wanted to rent out an apartment in a foreign country? Or you simply wanted to purchase something from a foreign e-commerce platform, or even wanted to plan a trip and check foreign blogs to give you that more localized, authentic feel and approach, so you know exactly what to do there as a local when you're there. Or simply check any news outlets or snippets via social media in a foreign language. But when we talk about all the examples above, whether it's a review or a comment or a news snippet or even a recommendation, if it's in a foreign language, it makes it very difficult for you to understand. Now, we can all agree that there are tools out there that help you navigate this and give you, in most cases, quite literal translation that loses the entire context and meaning, rendering the entire text quite difficult to understand and comprehend. However, we at Tarjama, being the pioneers in our industry and a tech-enabled company at heart, we have developed a portal that I'll begin by showing you that in a second, that allows you to tap into our own built machine translation engine. It's basically geared towards business content in both English to Arabic and Arabic to English specifically as language pairs. AMT Portal itself has been trained by our most senior veterans in our AI department, and hand in hand collaborating with our LQA specialists to deliver to you a model that the data spans over a decade, from being fine-tuned, filtered, just to make sure that it delivers the highest level of quality when we train that model, resulting in exceptionally great results that our global consumers actually love. What makes AMT Portal a little bit unique to what's out there in the market is not only having data security at the heart of what we do, but the fact that it also sits on a dedicated environment. We're also ISO certified when it comes to data security, so you can rest assured that all your data, all your documents are safe and sound with us. Now, AMT Portal has a lot more unique features and points to mention, but just to highlight a few of them, it's built specifically for business content from Arabic to English and English to Arabic, and it not only helps you translate text, but it also maintains the document formatting as well. And that's an example that I'll show you when I upload a document, which is a PowerPoint file. It not only analyzes and gives you the text, it also mirrors the text boxes, considering that the language pair and the way that it's spoken, the direction is left to right and right to left. So all your charts need to actually be flipped. So usually you end up having to share it with a designer afterwards, but our system takes care of that for you. So it also allows you to tap into translations that you've done previously. So it serves as your own little repository for reference or for future reference. Now, allow me to share my screen with you. What I'll do is I'll give you a live demo, since seeing is believing, and I'll run the example. All right. Perfect. So AMT Portal, it's quite intuitive, easy to use. There's no steep learning curve involved. It's just readily available at your fingertips. So I'm signed in. I can either go for option of a text where I've copied from a different document or a website, for example, and I can paste it here depending on the language pair that I'm working with. I can simply try it out, and I can get the instant translation right away. Instead, I can either share, comment, copy that text readily available, like or dislike what the machine translation actually produced. And I can always work with the reverse of this language pair as well. Now, if we go to the example of working with a document, this is where I will upload the file. And as soon as I upload the file, I can click Translate. What the system does now is that it's analyzing the file, checking the words, the word count, the file format. It's also gathering the details required when it comes to the font, if there's anything that is bold, the formatting, and generating that file for us so that it's ready for us to actually download. So while the system is doing all the above, let me go ahead and show you our subscription plans and the prices associated with it and what comes with each package or plan. So we have the hobbyist being a free plan. It's a simple case of just signing up. You can get up to 5 documents per month to translate. So similar to the example that I just did, you can run 5 of them, considering the size as well. And then the file formats, you get Word, and Excel as file formats supported for you to work with. Of course, the preservation of the document formatting is a constant across all plans that we have. And copying and pasting text, like the first example I did, you get up to 2,000 characters. Now, we keep the translation history as well. What we recommend is a startup plan. Now, the difference between both of those is the hobbyist being single individual that doesn't really need that much machine translation work being done or works with big files and documents. Startup is perfectly situated for small teams or LSPs that are out there that require the service, or one of our clients with more than one team member in different offices as well. And with that, as you can see, you triple the number of documents that you can use. You have way more file formats from PowerPoint, XLF, HTML, JSON, and XML being supported on top of what exists in the hobbyist. The max size is doubled to 10 megabytes. We also almost triple the character limit when it comes to the boxes and what you copy and paste. And then the request per day increases to 50 rather than 15. You can cancel it at any time, and you also get a free trial with no credit card required for 7 days. Now, business for enterprise is for big offices that require a sophisticated level of setting up their account. Now, of course, we avail a lot more when it comes to our enterprise partners, and the reason is we have unlimited users. That's quite important, much larger documents, and much higher volume to work with. You can have a dedicated setup if that's required, and you have additional language directions, for example, Arabic to Farsi or Arabic to Urdu. You can have tailored custom-built models, and my colleague will allude to that, some unique use cases that we had. We also avail the API integration, and that's something quite important. So you can have our own AMT Engine plugged into your own tech environment right away. So this works, for example, if you are, let's say, planning to translate websites, for example, and you want to plug that AMT Engine directly to your CMS. So that gives you that ability. So now once I go up, the file has been readily available for me. All I have to do is simply download it. Now, to look at the original file before we look at the downloaded file, I took liberty in sharing it with you over here. As you can see, it's quite complex when it comes to the design aspects. And if you take a look at the downloaded file right here, I can see that AMT did a really good job in preserving that format, the font type, and everything in between. Feel free to test it out yourself. All you have to do is go to translate.terjemana.com and test it out yourself. I'll hand over the mic to my colleague. Before I do that, I just want to cover the case of translation history. So at any given point, I can always reach out to my history of any document that I wish to download in future reference. I can simply delete it or clear the history where it will be permanently removed. And there is a small counter over here, so I know how many documents I still have under that subscription plan that I'm placed under. I can also manage anything related to my account settings. The website is also available fully in Arabic. So I'll hand off to my colleague, Sara, who will explain to you some of the unique business cases that we had and give you some introduction about the AMT engine itself and how it was actually built. So Sara, please.
Great. Thank you so much, Rakan, and thank you, Nada. So today I will be talking about our AMT as an engine. Our AMT was built with clean Arabic data that is produced internally by our linguists. Of course, after we receive the data, the linguistic quality assurance team, they go through it and they make sure the data is clean, rich with terminology, and beneficial for the training. As our motto is not the more the merrier, but the more diverse and healthy the better. So we don't take everything, we take what we need, which means we take healthy data. What is healthy data, you may ask? It is data with high quality for both the source and target, rich in terminology, covers more domains and topics to fulfill all needs. Therefore, our AMT is morphologically rich as we choose the data that is more diverse, which covers a lot of business domains such as consultancy, medical, finance, e-commerce, and so on. While building the machine translation, the data is a big concern, especially because we are dealing with Arabic language, and there is a lack of Arabic data available everywhere, actually. So, for those who don't speak Arabic, there is a huge difference between the classical Arabic Fusha and colloquial Arabic Ammiya. In addition, there are five main dialects in colloquial Arabic, and under those five, there are more. And what we hunt as for Arabic data is only the classical Arabic. Therefore, we have even less data available. So we choose to stick with classical Arabic language as it's more beneficial for business than colloquial. And speaking of beneficial things, we had a success story with integrating this AMT engine into our own TMS that we built internally in Tarjama called Cleverso. I will next be talking about the use cases. In the next slide, we are showing today two different use cases. I will start with our client Birkenstock, an e-commerce client. Their problem was that they were not able to understand the locations to which they want to deliver their orders to. So we built a model that transliterated the location right away, which led to a decrease in incorrect deliveries and increase in revenue. And I will be talking about the second use case, the tailored NMT for Noon, using the next slide. At Tarjama, we make sure to cater to all your needs. Therefore, we tailor models based on the client's needs for better accuracy, as the model is built and trained on the client's data. What we do in this process, we take the client's data, we analyze it, and we filter it. Then we train different models with different approaches. If we see the need of more data, we carefully select external data that is beneficial in this case. And finally, after the training and filtering and everything, our LQA team manually evaluate models and compare them to come up with the best one. At the end, this model will achieve best-in-class performance for the client's data. In the next slide, Noon is an e-commerce client, and here most of you may know that e-commerce language is to some extent special. They have short sentences, direct to the point, lots of products names and details, and you can see here in the slide how the sentences are short and they contain different codes and numbers. There isn't any context in their files. It's just products, their codes, and so on. Therefore, we built a model for Noon using their own data, which was 3 million segments. Next slide, please. So using their data enabled us to build a model that helped our linguists not only save 38% from their time compared to when translating through a generic MT, but also made them deliver even more accurate documents in less time, which also improved consistency. So with this success, we are currently working on building a legal tailored MT and subtitling MT, and in the future, maybe we'll cover more domains. Thank you.
Thank you, Rakan and Sara. That was very insightful. We're gonna invite everyone to our Q&A session. So if you have any questions, there is a tab right on the bottom right corner where you'll be able to drop any questions that you have. In the meantime, I did want to also share the results of the poll. So most of you have responded that the most type of content that you want to translate with Arabic machine translation is the business documents. So that might include emails, RFPs, legal financial documents, and then followed by user-generated content, social media posts. So if you have any sort of questions on how our Arabic machine translation can support you with that cost and also increase efficiencies, please feel to reach out to us. We do have 10 minutes for the Q&A session. We did also receive questions prior to the event that we would like to cover. The first one is, how has the development of machine translation technology impacted the field of localization and translation?
Right. Let me cover that, please, Sara.
Sure.
Look, we both know that MT technology in itself has indeed revolutionized our industry. It's, if you think about it, the perfect marriage between humans and AI, and it serves as an enabler. To give you some context on that example, let's think of an example no more than 50 years ago. It used to be very difficult for you to obtain information. You had to physically go to a source, such as a library, for example, if you're looking for something specific. But if you are looking for something specific, it might be covered in a single paragraph that gives you that insight. But you had to source through a large number of books and sources to get to what you want finally. Now, today, all that information is available at your fingertips because of the internet and smartphones. So it is serving you as an enabler. It allowed us to fact check, reach specific information in seconds rather than hours or days. So similar to that logic, AI and AMT have cut down the time and effort required by linguists. So instead of working on things from scratch, they get the first layer, shoot it out to the machine, get that translation done. And what they do is they actually do the post-editing afterwards. And it's quite important because this is where I was alluding to when I was mentioning AI and humans having the perfect marriage, is that the human can then add their own creative touch and also fact check what the machine actually translated, if it's actually right and within the right context. So having said that and having both of them collaborate, we managed to have our team spend less effort, less time, better turnaround times for our clients as well. And we all know that whenever you're more efficient, it means a reduction in cost as well. So that's technically a win-win for all parties involved.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that, Rakan. We have another question. How can Arabic machine translation benefit businesses in their localization efforts?
Let me take this one. It's a very big question actually, because like AMT can bring numerous benefits to businesses, like many ways really. AMT enables businesses to translate large volumes of content very quickly, so time efficiency. It allows businesses to reach a wider audience after quickly translating their content into Arabic to make it accessible for Arabic-speaking customers. So here you have accessibility as well. Businesses can easily scale their localization efforts as they expand into new markets, for example. And as what I talked about earlier, which is tailoring models. So there is a customization option to tailor a model based on your needs. So AMT can help like a little bit or a lot. You can translate through it an email to send internally in your company, or a huge message to the entire world. So you can use it and shape it for whatever you need exactly. So yeah.
Perfect. And Sarah, on that note, we do have a follow-up question on that, which is, can you provide examples of industries or sectors where Arabic machine translation is important for business success?
Most businesses really. So E-commerce, we already mentioned that. Travel and tourism, for example, where you can translate brochure, flight information, or even hotels' websites to reach a wider audience. In the medical sector, where patients can translate the prescription provided by a doctor or the results of blood tests, it can even help doctors explain diseases or illnesses to more people. It is also beneficial in the legal world. You can translate literally everything, and it's much easier for legal, by the way, because most documents are mostly the same, and you just like fill in gaps. So um, the AMT give you exactly what you need. So basically, name a domain, and you will get it. Of course, some are trickier than the others, but with the right data, you can build any AMT you want.
Perfect. Again, I think this question might be for you. How can businesses effectively integrate Arabic machine translation into their existing localization workflows?
Excellent question. All right. So, in our enterprise offering, we already gave our subscribers access to our APIs. So not only you'll be able to connect it directly, you can reap the benefits of the efficiency. Let me give you a few examples. For example, one that I briefly mentioned. So let's say you're a news outlet that constantly publishes content in English. So whenever you have breaking news, time is of the essence. So a minute is like a century. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that that content, as soon as it's published in English, there's the equivalent of it in Arabic right away or in any other language. So what we can do is, as soon as that is available on the CMS via APIs, we can have listeners that knows that new content has been there, pull it out, send it to our MT engine, do that translation in that language pair that is requested, then send it back to that CMS and push it so that someone else can actually review, do the final check, and then release it and publish it. Instead of in a manual approach without having the MT engine in place, what you have to do is download all that content or copy and paste it, have someone work on it offline, then copy and paste it again or upload it. You lose valuable time in the process. So it allowed news outlets to reach a wider audience, as my colleague Sara was saying. I'll also mention another example that Sara talked about when it came to e-commerce platforms. So let's say, again, your content is available in English and you have a backlog of thousands of SKUs and products. To be able to launch that, let's say in KSA, speed is of the essence. You need to acquire a market share. You need to be first out in the market or increase that market share globally for you. So integrating MT is a successful factor for you. Specifically, as Sara said, we can cater a model that is perfectly fit for e-commerce, and we've done that already. Another final success story that also Sara mentioned is we've successfully integrated our own MT engine directly within our own in-house also built translation management system referred to as Cleverso. So now what we've done is we've allowed our team members to push that content to that engine. It does the first layer. Our senior linguists then sit, do the creative work, post-edit, rather than work from scratch. So all that heavy lifting is done by the machine, and then it allowed our team members to have the flexibility to add more creativity and, of course, be able to deliver huge workloads in a matter of days and weeks rather than months or a year.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Rakan. So those are the questions that we received offline prior to the event. I am going to jump to the questions that are in the tab here. Just a kind reminder for everyone to drop their questions on the bottom right corner. So the first one that we have is, can you tell us who owns the data input into the machine translation?
Would you like to cover that, Sara, or should I?
No, please go. Not
All
sure
right.
what you mean. Yeah.
So the data that we used is anonymized at the end of the day, and whenever you use the data directly on AMT, we you have the full control. It's secure within our own environment, and the data that we've used previously over a span of 10 years, it's data that we developed ourselves with our most senior team members. So we've had the different language pairs, we've mirrored them, we've trained the model, and then we fine-tuned and fine-tuned until we've reached a point where our AMT engine was ready for the market. And this is where AMT Portal as a product was produced so that others in the market can actually make use of it and rely on it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Rakan. We also received another question. Does Arabic machine translation follow data security standard for enterprises?
Absolutely. We're ISO certified when it comes to data security. So we have ISO 27001, which is specific for data security. And the way that we host AMT is on a dedicated environment. It's military grade security when it comes to data security. And we're ISO certified just to give that peace of mind for our clients to know that their documents, their data, and their text is safe and sound with us.
Great. So there's a question in regards to, there's a lot of content on PowerPoint that's included in screenshots and pictures that sometimes need translation. Is there a solution within the AMT that allows character detection and translation for the unselectable text?
Interesting question. That's a different component altogether. We refer to it as OCR. So when you read from a scanned version of a PDF, you require to have it OCR'd first, which turns that scanned text into a readable document. And then that document is what we can work with. Unfortunately, till this day, nobody has been able to figure out OCR to a level where it's 100% accurate. Even Adobe itself that created PDF and their own editor, if you upload a document, usually in English, it does better and perform better. In Arabic, it's a little bit trickier. It also depends on the quality of the scan. If the text is inverted a little, if the quality of the scan is not clear, if there are streaks or lines across the document, it makes it even difficult or more difficult for the machine to do it. Now we have things that we're working on. In some cases, it produced quite great results, up to 90% accuracy. In other cases, it produced 70%. So nobody has really figured it out globally. And even the creators of PDF themselves haven't. So OCR is a big challenge across the globe. But what we can do is you can always OCR that document, proofread it just to make sure that the document didn't skip any text. And then that readable document is what you can work with on AMT or any global tool out there.
Let me add something here also, Rakan. Indeed, it's a huge problem for the entire world to have an OCR that is working perfectly. And what we are doing internally in the AI team now is that we are having lots of experiments and we are trying to build our own to benefit our own team, because since we have lots of PDFs that comes our way and we're building more machine translation engines, so we are working to solve this problem and benefit from all PDFs. So maybe one day or soon, not sure, we'll have an option that can help everyone.
Absolutely. We did receive a question that I say is very popular, and I receive it a lot from my clients, which is, how would this translation engine contribute differently amongst other engines or applications?
Okay.
That's your forte, Sara. Go ahead.
Yeah, right. So unlike other engines, first of all, we have a team of linguists internally working with the AI team, which is my team, where we go deep with each model that the AI team train, we basically go through the data with every file. Sometimes we fix things, we catch the problems, we manually evaluate each model using the MQM manual evaluation system, but we altered it a little bit to fit our needs. So we do that with each model that they have like a potential to have a new one or a better one, let's say. And afterwards, after we finish or we come up with a better model, we do a lot of comparisons with different engines in the market. We make sure that we are ahead of all the other engines. We make sure that we cover more documents or more domains than others. So in our comparisons, for example, we are much better in consultancy and in business domains than any other engines. And you can try it yourself using our own AMT website, the portal that Rakan showed you, and you can compare them.
Thank you, Sara. I'm conscious that we went over time, but I definitely want to make sure that we address the two remaining questions that we have. We did get a question saying, for business-related documents, what's the level of professional language maintained in the translation? And that's because usually in translations, the essence of sentences are lost, especially if some keywords translated differently.
Let me tackle that, please, Sara. So very good question. It really depends on your use case. So we always say that it's a perfect marriage between AI and the human. So depending on the use case, you should always have a human in the loop, except in very odd cases where you simply have an internal document or a quick news snippet that you'd like to understand, or it's an RFP that is in a different language. You simply want to understand if your company can apply for it to begin with. So in these cases, you can rely on AMT Portal on its own. But if it's a document where you need to have it done on a PowerPoint presentation that you're going to be presenting to a client, we definitely recommend that you always go with a human to review it, and we provide that service directly. So as soon as you're done with that document, you can always request a review directly from AMT Portal, and our team can actually help you. But that said, what we've done is with our own model, as Sara was saying, you can always test it out yourself and compare, is we've made sure that it's trained with really high quality data so that it preserves the context as much as possible. But at the end of the day, it's a machine, so nobody can claim that it's as good as a human being. So marrying both together is the right way to go.
Absolutely.
And by the way, most of our linguists, they are post-editing certified from 1000 SDL, so they can serve you well with any issue you have after the machine translation output.
Perfect. We do have one last question before we close off, which is, does the system allow feedback from users, say from the hobbyist users?
Definitely, yes. So as I was showing the two text boxes where you drop your text, copy and paste it, and then it auto-generates it, you have the option of writing a comment, liking or disliking. So those little icons that I was showing at the beginning of the demo is where you can add your feedback on that produced translation. So yes, you can, on all levels.
Absolutely. Rakan, if I may, we do have one more question that just came in, and I'd like to address it. Can we integrate any special glossary in Arabic machine translation to ensure better results?
So we did when it came to our translation management system on Cleverso, but it becomes a little bit trickier when it comes to glossaries unless that model was trained on that specific glossary. So at the end of the day, it depends on what you train that model with to expect the results out of it. So can you? Anything is possible. So yes, absolutely you can. But if you haven't trained it specifically to cover those terminologies, the model might do well and might not, depending on the term that it sees.
Great, thank you, Rakan and Sara, and thank you for everyone. I know that we went over time, but I wanted to make sure that we address all the questions that you had. But nonetheless, if you would like to see a demo or if you want to talk about a customized package where we can offer Arabic machine translation, please go ahead and visit us at translate.tarjama.com and book a demo. One of our consultants will reach out to you personally and walk you through it. All right. Thank you, everyone, for your time. It's always a pleasure, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.